山洞拐刺下升线，广州市场走。
Microcambiograma que tiene una arritmia leve.
Where you been, darling? Chasing after God in a wayward car. It's time to get started. Life ain't making sense again. Close your eyes and count to 10. I can see a little smile when you think of where you've been. If life ain't making sense again, thunder and lightning, chasing fireflies in your parents' car, just trees and power lines when we were holding hands in the flashing dark. Let's go back there and lie down.
Hi, intelligent world. Thanks, intelligent car. Let's discover the universe with supercomputing power. Now, we can explore Mars in class. With a vision to bring digital to every person, home, and organization, together with our partners, Huawei is building the Horizon digital platform and ecosystem, integrating new ICT technology and bringing an intelligent world to life through digital transformation. This isn't magic. It's intelligent finance, envisioning business opportunities. You'll never miss a moment in the high-speed world of investing. This isn't science fiction. It's intelligent transportation, linking vast distances, connecting business centers, suburbs, and the outskirts. A city's blueprints can redefine efficiency for everyone. This isn't fantasy, it's reality. Intelligent campus and intelligent city are on the rise. With intelligent brains to think on their own. This isn't the future. This is now. Hi, intelligent world.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
至山洞拐至下象线广州至常州。
Hi, dear. I'm about to 15 kilometers to the bank.
贷款再不来，可真没辙了。
I've sent you the prepayment.
There's a problem with the factory. We've been cheated.
I can't wait for 3 more months. When will the new business be started?
Have you received the money?
Yes, I've received. Boss, please confirm this order.
This new business can be launched in just a week by calling the merchant API.
Huawei Intelligent Finance. Accelerate financial digitalization. New value together.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends watching the live cast online, good morning. I'm Zhu Xiaoyu from Shanghai TV station. It's a great pleasure to meet all of you at the Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit 2021. On behalf of the organizer, I'd like to extend the warmest welcome and thanks to all of you with us today. This year is the third year of the 3-year FinTech development plan. Technology is not just used in finance. It is a major enabler replacing many legacy approaches. As the pandemic becomes the new normal, the digital economy has demonstrated strong resilience and has become the new engine for economic recovery and growth. Today, we're extremely pleased to be able to discuss with you in this summit how to build agile capabilities and upgrade the industry with innovation and intelligence. Now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage Member of the Board and President of Huawei Enterprise BG, Mr. Peng Zhongyang, to deliver the opening remarks. Welcome. Distinguished guests, dear friends, good morning. On behalf of Huawei, I'd like to extend the warmest welcome to all of you for coming to join us in Shanghai and attend the Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit 2021. And a very warm welcome to all of the friends online from many countries around the world. Thank you for joining us. 2020 was an extraordinary year. Huawei coped with various challenges and continuously enhanced our investment in R&D. In 2020, we invested for 141.9 billion RMB, 15.9% of our revenue into R&D. In enterprise business, we continuously build scenario-based industry solutions, the digital ecosystem, to enable the digital transformation of all industries. Thanks to the support of our customers and partners, we've made great results. The revenue of last year was over 100 billion RMB with a year-on-year growth of 23%. I'd like to thank you all for your attention and support to Huawei. 2021 will be a year of restart and recovery. Digital economy has demonstrated strong resilience and has become the new engine for economic recovery and growth. As the industry upgrades and converges, finance is increasingly integrated in industrial digitalization and has formed the circulation of value chains of tech serving finance and finance serving tech. Many new economic paradigms, such as carbon neutrality, new infrastructure, and industry finance combination, have proposed new requirements. We believe two aspects of capabilities are needed for FSIs. First is to build cloud-native transformation capability. We need to expedite the transformation from conventional enterprises to cloud-native digital enterprises. The channels need to be increasingly mobile and open. The customer service, risk control, and decision-making need to be intelligent to achieve agility in many aspects, such as business, service, data, and intelligence. Second key capability is scenario plus ecosystem. As the financial service system is upgrading towards industrial finance, we need to build brand new service models and capabilities, combining scenarios with ecosystems to achieve the convergence between financial services and wider industry scenarios and form connected ecosystems. Huawei is dedicated to supporting the digital transformation of various industries. We've accumulated rich experience. At the same time, we are one enterprise transforming to become digital. We've learned many lessons and accumulated many experiences, capabilities, methods, and tools. In the finance sector, we will collaborate with customers and partners in the following four aspects to explore new ways of supporting financial institutions to become ecosystem-based enterprises that are agile and digital. First, innovation in technology. We have invested heavily in innovative technologies R&D, represented by the fundamental technologies and cloud-native technologies. We help financial institutions build a foundation for digitalization that is green, secure, simple, and agile to support their agile innovation. Second, innovation in scenarios. In the financial sector, Huawei is cooperating with 50+ leading financial institutions in strategic cooperation, joint innovation to explore new technologies and industry scenarios. For instance, with ICBC, we've innovated together in database. With CMB, we've innovated in big data. With SPDB, we've innovated in trustworthy financial warehouse. 3. Innovation in ecosystem. Huawei will open up the full stack of software, hardware, and cloud capabilities. We will bring together consulting, planning, design, SI partners that have strong capabilities to better serve the digital transformation and innovation in business models of financial institutions. on top of the digital platform. We will collaborate with ecosystem partners and customers to explore immense possibilities. Number 4, innovation across the global value chain. Huawei operates in 170 plus countries and regions around the world. We serve financial customers in over 60 countries and regions, in total 2,000 of them. We see the need for dedicating Huawei's capability and experiences to support balanced and sustainable growth. Looking towards the future, Huawei will remain dedicated to support globalization and collaborate with all parties in the industry to support a green and sustainable future of the financial sector. Today, we have industry leaders and experts with us to discuss how financial institutions can become ecosystem organizations that are agile and digital to serve the real economy. The theme of this summit is accelerate financial digitalization, new value together. I'm confident that with all of your contributions, discussions, and exchange of ideas, we will find the path towards smart finance and new value for industries. I wish the summit a great success. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Peng Zhongyang, for the exciting speech. As Mr. Peng said, now we are kicking off the Huawei IFS 2021. Now, in this new normal, how many things are changing in the society, the economy, and people's life. How should the financial sector transform? Let's welcome to the stage Professor of Economics of Peking University and Vice President of China Society for Economic Reform, Professor Fan Gang, to share with us global economic recovery, certainties and uncertainties. It's a great pleasure to attend Huawei Summit again. In the past years, I've attended many Huawei events organized by various departments. Every time I come away with many learnings. Today, I'm going to speak from the perspective of macroeconomic development and the dual circulation of the Chinese economy to hopefully inspire some discussion with all of the experts present. And I hope you will find what I speak about relevant. First, about the global economic situation. It is true there are many uncertainties. The global pandemic has gone better and worse many times. We place our hopes in the vaccines and in the travel passports. But now it seems with the fluctuation of the pandemic control, with the new variants, with the many uncertainties, we still can't be sure about when we will come back to normal completely. During this time, the economies have experienced great uncertainties. Throughout the course of the pandemic, to an extent, we have benefited. The export has grown tremendously. In developed markets, the pandemic has been somewhat controlled, but they cannot fully recover production, and they issued many new currencies. And there is the risk of inflation that cannot be effectively controlled. The issue in the US is that the supply cannot satisfy demand. Many export orders go to other markets, but those markets cannot fully recover production. In India, in Brazil, and then those orders came back to China because they can't be fulfilled elsewhere. So far, since the outbreak of the pandemic, towards probably the end of this year, the main pillar of economic growth will be export for China. But that brings a lot of changes for the economy. The digger machine has grown by more than 100-fold in volume in their business. The railway and roadway transportation indicators are running at very high levels. The inflation, CPI, due to the drop of pork prices, have dropped, but the PPI have risen because of the pricing rise of bulk commodities. The global economies are still in turmoil. Many countries issued more debt and more currency. Will they cause an economic collapse? This will be a severe challenge that we need to face moving forward. We're conducting lots of analysis to try to preempt the curve. In the finance sector, we need to be able to see those potential risks. The biggest risk post-pandemic will be financial risk. Will there be another financial crisis? In China, how do we prevent such a crisis? How do we prevent financial risks? There is the firewall, there are security requirements, the RMB cannot be exchanged freely, and the financial accounts are not open. Financial capital accounts are not open. Because of these measures, the financial crisis was contained in its spread to China in early 2000s, and we were able to prevent the worst in the last financial crisis. This will be an important precondition as we prevent the next. But as our financial market, as our economy becomes increasingly connected to the world, as our scale grows, we need stability in the growth of the financial sector. This is a topic of research for all of the scholars in this sector.
This is the current macroeconomic situation. China is still growing rapidly. We will be sure to reach 8% in growth. By the end of the year, Chinese economy will continue to expand. But many problems will occur in the coming 2 years. So that's for the short term. If we look at the long term, that's about China's 14th five-year plan, the dual circles, and more economic issues. We're also going to look at the global economy, and one main theme is the China-US rivalry. So we are undergoing tremendous changes. Over the past decades, China has been rapidly growing. It is the main change factor. And the US has seen competition coming, so it is trying to contain China's growth. That's why we've seen wars on all fronts between the two countries. Can we avoid them? Are they evitable? Everyone is asking this. I don't think it's avoidable. An American expert said this is a trend. This is a pattern. When great powers rise, conflicts are sure to happen. When developing countries want to rise, there are all kinds of difficulties to overcome. I've been teaching development in Peking University, so we study the reason of growth, the theory of growth of developing countries. How are these countries that are lagging behind growing in history? How did these countries become backward. There's the trap of poverty. They lack labor, advanced economic policies, and all kinds of resources. And then when these countries started to grow, when they have intensive labor, and when they're running out of labor, then they found themselves with this middle income trap, with rising gap between the rich and the poor. And then it seems that everything is going well again. And then we are having this trade war beginning from 2018. Now, when you're rising, you're facing this great confrontation from more advanced countries that is trying to put a lid on you. How do we address it? Maybe these patterns are inevitable. The American expert said after 15th century, there have been a dozen occasions where there have been rising new powers, and in some cases, this ended up in hot wars. Then we need to think about what is the best outcome? What is the best coping method? It is to be able to be rational and avoid hot wars. Be it economic war or technical war, they are bound to happen. But this is something that we can tolerate. So during the confrontation between two major powers, we hope that things can be contained and not turn for the worse. The best outcome is that China can continue to grow for another 10 or 20 years. And when the other side found that it cannot contain you, then it will think about working with you. But how should we keep growing? This is the issue brought to us by the two economic circulations policy. This happened because we faced the confrontation from the external world. We have technology side and the market side. We are facing all kinds of difficulties in trade, in markets, so we have to put more focus in China. We are the biggest market in the world. At least we are the most promising market with 1.4 billion people. We have the most advanced industrial system. Among the 160 industries recognized by the UN, we have all of them. We have the benign circle that allows us to grow continuously. But in order to grow sustainably, we have to address many issues. It has been pointed out that what is the difference between the double circulation and the demand requirement in the past? In the past, we were focusing on self-innovation and changing our system, using new technologies to change how we grow and how we operate. Then it comes down to digital economy. In the next stage, in the next 1 or 2 decades, what are the drivers for our economic growth? We need to boost consumption. We also have to develop technical innovations in all sectors. An important sector will be digital economy. This has been a world consensus. The most prominent technical revolution is that of science and technology. Why is digital economy so important? This is because it has been the major technical progress in the past decades. If we apply digital economy or digital technologies to all industries, then we will be able to achieve more development. Recently, we saw some numbers from Chinese authorities. Digital economy in China now is worth around 78 trillion RMB yuan. If you look into it, you found that most of them have to do with digital equipment, the output from digital equipment, instead of the output from applying those technologies in different sectors. But as for how we calculate these numbers, it is somewhat complicated. If you say how much more value has been created by using these new technologies, have our profits and revenues grown or not? This is what we need to think about. But the digital economy does not only include the manufacture of products or equipment. It is more about how these technologies are applied in industries to create their value and turn these different industries into part of the digital economy. So application of the technologies is really important. This includes digital finance. We're talking about digital transport, smart homes, and algorithms, computing power, storage of data, digital transmission, and 5G. They're applied in almost all sectors. The question or the problem we're facing now is exactly that. There has been a dispute over whether we should put more efforts on China's new infrastructure initiative. It seeks to boost the digital economy. Now we have the new infrastructure in 5G, but no one is using it yet. Businesses are all supposed to use the digital economy. But we are often saying that industries are now embracing the virtual side instead of the real economy. Some other people are talking about this from the perspective of platform economy. The platform is serving all different sectors. It serves the real economy, manufacturing, and finance. Digital economy, which comes from digital providers, they serve the other industries, and their mission is to help the other industries to achieve more growth from applying digital technologies and increase the share of digital economy in the whole economy. So, for example, 5G, we are seeing many new base stations, but they have not been fully used by the industry. I may not be a 5G expert, but I do think it is no longer an issue of consumption. It involves big data, AI. It has use cases for remote surgery and autonomous driving. All of these applications need high transmission speeds. So when a technology is used in all these sectors, that's what we call that its value has truly been fulfilled. The value of infrastructure is its application in different sectors. infrastructure is supposed to be used by all different industries. That's why I'm saying we are still facing a tremendous challenge. I believe this summit today is aiming at helping the financial industry to use the new technologies, helping the suppliers and customers to be able to use these technologies and implement all these new solutions. So this is being heatedly debated, and my personal understanding is that we have to pursue the new infrastructure initiative. And the suppliers need to think about how to serve the customers so they can profit. There's a survey in the US asking whether the profits of IT companies have increased. Most said they haven't seen profit growth yet. They need more efforts to increase the profit. So we have to think about how these new technologies and new equipment can really be of use. Talking about digital finance, digital currency is the buzzword. Well, digital economy is not equal to digital finance, but digital currency does include financial services. In China, currency has become digitalized. It's not saying we are having the digital fiat, the official money issued by the government. It means that when we make payments, these payments have become fully digital. Since the pandemic broke out, barely anyone has used cash.
With the introduction of digital RMB, we're looking at a new stage or a new level of digital currency or the digitalization of fiat money. What does that mean? It means that now when the central bank wants to get information of a transaction, they need to get it through a platform from banks or financial institutions, because that's where the information resides. But with digital RMB, the central bank will have access to such information immediately. The transaction and transaction-related information will be fed into the cloud storage infrastructure of the central bank directly. What impacts will this process bring? This is a topic that many people are exploring, and many central banks around the world are exploring. When the more and larger part of the currency becomes digitalized, when the payment becomes digitalized, digitalizing fiat money will be easier, and the exchange of information will be more homogeneous. That means it's the same if you use this or that. Maybe it takes another detour for this information to get sent to central bank, but in the end, it will be essentially the same. The difference will be minimized because of the development of digital technologies. As for when the digital fiat money comes into place, will central bank replace financial institutions and do their job and render them non-essential? I don't think so. The central bank will not do the job of financial institutions. They will not be able to issue microloans to SMEs. That's not possible. This upgrade, this transformation can exist in many forms. It will inspire new ecosystems, new forms of activities. In the end, I still want to come to this very hot topic of encrypted currency, cryptocurrency. As far as we can see, cryptocurrency is not currency. We need to agree on that. It's an asset. It's an asset defined by other currencies. For example, Bitcoin's value is defined by its value in dollars. If you set up a gamble, people will place bet on it. Therefore, you have an asset with value, but it is not a currency. It may have some credit because that's the essence of currency. Maybe through blockchain, it gets some credit, it gets some reputation, but it's not a means of transaction. It's very hard to split it because for means of transaction, you must support division as a unit of price. They do not have this characteristic. As a value storage currency, it is not fit because it is highly speculative. So the value changes dramatically, and it is only in a limited amount. That is what makes it speculative. But then that speculation means the value will rise or drop significantly. So I do agree that this is a digital asset, but it is not a digital currency. From the logic of finance and economics, I think this is clear. So when we talk about the digital currency and currency digitalization, we must differentiate those concepts from the digitalization of cryptocurrency. To avoid confusion, many people ask questions about these, but they're actually asking about the speculative currencies. It's not the same thing. By understanding that, we also can see the boundaries clearly, the boundaries of digital currency. These are very hot topics, and I would recommend that you search online the recent comment made by Krugman, who won Nobel Prize previously. He has talked about those concepts that I just mentioned on many occasions, the speculative meaning of cryptocurrency. John Yellen also talked about it as well. The reason why I talk about this is that it's crucial for setting the boundaries clear. We need to develop digital currency or currency digitalization, but it is not the same as the digitalization of assets or cryptocurrency, so that we can be more focused onto the financial sector and preventing financial risks. That's my 2 cents. It's an honor to share with you. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Fan Gang, for the inspiring speech. As Professor Fan talked about, in the dual circulation of the Chinese economy, we also need to think about actively how to rise up to the challenges of certainties and uncertainties in the financial sector. Next, let's hand over to our expert Ronald Ravensburger to give us a tour of the exhibition on site and show us the exciting solutions showcased there. Welcome.
Hello, and welcome to the Huawei Financial Services Industry Summit. We're here in Shanghai. Unfortunately, not everybody is able to get here. But what I wanted to do is give you a brief overview of what the people who can attend are going to see. What you see behind me is part of our exhibition area. We have a large number of partners who are with us for this two-day event, demonstrating all kinds of solutions that are specific to the financial services industry. They're going to illustrate our I-5 concept that you will learn about when you see the other parts of our presentations over these 2 days. So I thought I would highlight a few of the major things that people will see here, and we hope that you'll talk to your Huawei representatives and find out more of the areas that interest you. One of the things that you will hear a lot is about mobile first as the way to go about engaging with your customers. You want to create an environment where they come through you for all of their lifestyle kinds of services. One thing that happens when you do that is that you're going to be collecting a huge amount of data, much more than you traditionally will store, and it also is not just around the kinds of financial transaction data that we're used to. You're going to keep copies of their calls, the audio into your call centers. You're going to have interactions with Internet of Things kinds of devices. You'll have video streaming. All of those kinds of things take a huge amount of storage. So to be able to do that, Huawei has our new product. We call this the Ocean Store Pacific. Now the Ocean Store Pacific comes in 2 models, and I'll show you the other one in a minute. This is our high storage system. It can have 120 disks. This is the 19-inch part, and that it mounts in a normal kind of a rack. But you can have up to 123.5-inch disks in this, so you can get about little over 2 petabytes of storage in a 5U enclosure. Very, very powerful, very good way to handle your long-term storage, particularly for things like video. The other version of the Ocean Store Pacific is shown here. This one has a lot of flash storage. So this is a very high capacity flash storage, and it is for the intermediate kinds of storage, particularly when you're going to be doing things like model training of the data that you have stored in your data lake. So both of these are a very powerful way to go about creating the kind of a storage environment that you're going to need going forward. So I just introduced you to the very high capacity storage, our Ocean Store Pacific. For traditional kinds of storage though, that's not really the right choice because it's not fast enough. It also doesn't have some of the features. While it has very, very high reliability and all sorts of capabilities to be able to survive multiple disk failures and things like that, it's not really the right fit for traditional kinds of financial storage. For that, we have our Ocean Store Dorado. This is our all-flash storage system. It has a lot of unique capabilities, and we'll demonstrate a couple of them. But one is that built into the Ocean Store Dorado is what we call hypermetro. This allows you to have between 2 data centers the connection with synchronization so that even if you lose one data center, that you won't have lost any of the data or any of the processing capabilities because you're running in an active situation. Now, for a 3rd data center, like we have over here, this is where we would have our disaster recovery, okay? So one of the things that the people here will be able to see, here we have actually a lot of fiber. I think we have probably about 300 kilometers of fiber that is connecting these 2 systems, and we're going to demonstrate the fact that you can turn off the compute, the servers, or where you can turn off the storage, and it will continue to operate normally. So this is a very high reliability system. The other thing that we're going to show is that also built into this is the disaster recovery for a 3rd site. So one thing about moving to mobile is that you have to have 7x24. You can't take a system down. So you have typically 2 data centers that are synchronous, and you're doing an active, if you will. And then you have a 3rd site that is some distance away. In China, there's actually a rule by the regulator that DR site has to be at least 1,000 kilometers away. Now, that's not necessary in a lot of other countries. but the Ocean Store Dorado has built into it the capability to have the third DR site that is also connected, and so we have special technology to be able to have very high capacity at very low bandwidth capabilities for that disaster recovery system. There are a few other capabilities that the Ocean Store Dorado all-flash storage system has that I'd like to highlight here. The first is that this was really the first system that used what we call NOF, right? NVMe over fabric. So here we have a demonstration, and if you could actually see inside of here, we can show the different components, but it allows you to have the connection from your server to your storage be over a normal IP network. You don't need a special fiber channel network, so you can save a lot of money on that. And it's also very, very fast. And in fact, if you have routers like the Huawei ones in your data center, they actually are able to sense the data traffic that's coming for the storage and be able to prioritize it. And you can get much higher speeds. We offer 100 megabits per second, no problem. In fact, you can go all the way up to 400 megabytes per second, but I think that's probably, nobody really needs that quite yet for storage. The other thing is, from an architectural standpoint, what we're showing here, so these 4 controllers are in what we call an engine. And this engine has 8 controllers, or 4 controllers in it, and here we have another 4. You can actually go up to 32 controllers in a complete system. But at that size, you're really handling a huge number of operations per second, because this is all flash, right? But some of the capabilities that we have here are the ability, so let's just look at this. There's 3 characteristics. The first is what we call smart matrix. So this is, in these 8 controllers, they're all interconnected, and they're all interconnected to the storage devices. Here we have a whole lot of all-flash storage, and these are actually what we call our palm size, that you can actually get 32 in a 19-inch rack rather than the normal 24. But because all of these are interconnected, I can actually lose 7 of the different of these 8 and not lose any connectivity. So if I were running the simulation here, seeing all of the videos here, I could actually turn off 7 of these 8 and not lose any access to storage and any of the throughput. It's really an amazing system. The next thing to talk about is that, you know, I think Huawei was one of the first to use a software-defined RAID. Not a separate controller card, but software-defined, and we spread all of the storage across all of the disks. And typically people use an algorithm like a RAID 5 or a RAID 6, and in that situation you could lose up to 2 disks, but after that you would actually lose real data. We have come up with a new algorithm called RAID TP, and here we actually have a demo that allows you to show that we can lose up to 3 of these disks. And I can just pick those 3 disks. You can see they all were removed here. And this video that I've been streaming from storage didn't change at all. So this is a very good demonstration of how that tolerance for 3 disks. And the last thing is that even across enclosures for the disks, and here we'll just illustrate that, we actually distribute all of the storage across multiple enclosures. It's not just within a single disk enclosure. So even if you lose an entire enclosure for the disks, you won't lose any data. So these are very powerful capabilities that only are available in Huawei's Ocean Store Dorado. In addition to physical hardware like the Dorado and Ocean Store systems that I just showed you, One thing that Huawei has, which we're really very excited about, is our mobile money offering. This is a complete solution that allows banks or even telecommunications operators to be able to completely operate a mobile money system. So people with phones that have smartphones that have cameras can pay using QR codes, and even phones that don't have the ability to run an application like a smartphone, right? They're just the old kind of a flip phone or whatever, can also be integrated into this solution. We have deployed this around the world. In more than 20 countries. We have more than 300 million registered users across those services. And one of the key things about this mobile money platform is that you integrate a system of agents with it, so people don't have to go to bank branches. They can go to their local, whatever agent that might have been set up and be able to put in money or take out money. And of course, they can integrate with all of the different merchants. So we can have, in fact, more than 200 billion transactions that are going, 200 billion US dollars worth of transactions. So these are just some of our different customers. I'll give you an example in Kenya, which is, we have a couple of systems in Kenya. This one is run by Safaricom, and it's called M-Pesa. And M-Pesa has really been very much of a driver of financial inclusion. So when M-Pesa was first started in 2016, there were only about 70% of the country had any kind of a bank account. And now it's up over 85%. So this is really, and it's because they didn't have to set up all of the bank branches and things like that. They could do everything through their mobile devices. This has really revolutionized the ability to be able to bring people who are unbanked into the banking system. The successful use of intelligence actually takes a number of different capabilities. I mentioned earlier that we have lots of different kinds of data other than just traditional transaction data. And so Huawei has a number of different tools to be able to deal with this. So the first is what we call our Fusion Insight MRS, which is being able to map reduce. So these is built on a Hadoop platform. So this is how you take huge quantities of data and be able to distill them. And one of the things that's very impressive about our Ocean Store Pacific is that it can talk directly to the Hadoop system because it supports the file system access that's called HDFS. So we have the MapReduce capabilities. And then for the normal kinds of structured data, traditionally you would have a standalone data warehouse. Well, Huawei has that integrated in. It uses what we call our Gauss DB, the Data Warehouse Edition. And this is a massively parallel database. It scales out and to huge quantities. And so no matter what size data you have, if it's structured kinds of data from a typical data warehouse, you'll be able to put it inside of this Gauss DB. We also are working on a transaction database, which is based on an open source project called OpenGauss. And in the future, this will allow you to do very high-speed transactions of very large quantities of data, particularly in a cloud computing kind of an environment. So, and we have a graph database that will allow you to find relationships. This is particularly important for fraud prevention. It's also very useful for looking at social graphs to be able to help your marketing efforts. So this is a very key thing, and this is a graphical tool to be able to build the relationships and be able to visualize them to get more information out of it. And now, really the key and one we're really excited about, this is what we call our EI, our Enterprise Intelligence. And here we're actually giving a demonstration of how you can very graphically, you don't have to have a bunch of data scientists, but you can actually, particularly with things that are graphical, like actual objects like these donuts or pastries, you can actually be able to just take pictures of them, and then the system can integrate those capabilities into services. So this demonstration actually is from a real live customer where they took pictures of all of.
Thank you, Ron, for showing us the very interesting solutions around the booth. Next, I'd like to invite to the stage a very important speaker to hear about Huawei's thoughts and vision in the future finance sector and how Huawei is going to support the smart finance upgrade. Let's welcome President of Global Financial Services Business Unit of Huawei Enterprise BG, Mr. Jason Cao, to talk about accelerate financial digitalization, new value together. Welcome. Distinguished guests, dear friends, and friends online, good morning. It's a great pleasure to get together with all of you at this summit. This is our annual tradition, organizing the Finance Summit. It's the 9th HIFS so far. It's a great pleasure to see all of you, both on site and online, to share and exchange ideas. And I'd like to extend the warmest welcome to all of you for joining us. In the financial industry, Huawei has worked for more than 10 years. Looking back, we have gained lots of improvements and achievements. Now we serve more than 2,000 financial customers from 60 plus countries and regions, including 47 of the top 100 banks. Now we have become an important partner in the global financial digitalization. In China, Huawei's cloud and data infrastructure have achieved #1 in market share. Huawei Cloud serves more than 300 financial institutions, including all of the top 10 banks in China. Our data infrastructure serves all of the top 20 financial customers. We've built, together with China Merchants Bank, the largest cloud data warehouse in Asia. A very powerful solution we offer is the Gauss distributed database. It has a very high performance. Now it supports core businesses of ICBC and PSBC. And Mr. Niu from PSBC will share with us their experience in a bit. We've also made tremendous progress overseas. In many countries, we've gained in-depth cooperation with important partners, such as France, Germany, Switzerland, Russia, Brazil. We've established strong ties of strategic cooperation with many customers. Last year, DBS, the largest bank in Singapore, awarded Huawei the 2020 Most Valued Technology Partner Award. It's a very high honor and recognition. We are the only one among 64 vendors selected. It shows significant recognition to Huawei's tech capability and service excellence. Still, we see that there's still a large population around the world without access to the basic financial services. Financial inclusion is a very important work for us. Starting from 2012, we kicked off the first inclusive finance project in Kenya with NCBA. Now we're working in more than 20 countries around the world to enable financial inclusion, serving more than 300 million population outside of China. We collaborate with global partners deeply. Now, in the financial industry, we have collaborated with more than 150 partners and built more than 200 financial solutions for the global market. All of these results would not have been possible without the support and trust of our customers and partners. I'd like to say a sincere thank you to you all. As we look into the future, a future of all things connected and intelligent, what will it be like? We're no longer in an era of PC or mobile internet. We're going towards industrial internet. By 2025, it is expected that the world will see hundreds of billions of connections. What does it mean for the financial sector? We believe that four aspects deserve our attention. First, always online will become a possibility. That means we will have real-time interactions and we will have behavior-based connections everywhere. This will create new ways of service. Second, superintelligence will become a reality. With the dawn of AI, many capabilities from cloud, edge, and network, the capabilities are aligned and put together. And we will see contracts everywhere. This will create new models of decision-making. Number three, everything will be intelligently connected. This will greatly expand the scope of our service. We're not just serving people, but things. Now we see the emergence of Bank of Things. This will inspire new scenarios. Lastly, we will see new ways of collaboration, which is distributed. It's a bottom-up collaboration with multiple parties involved. This will create new business models. As we think about what the future will bring, we need to explore what trends will emerge in the financial sector. Facing such challenges and opportunities, we believe the finance sector needs to reshape its capabilities and accelerate its upgrade. We have a few examples here. For example, we see a lot of banks doing live streaming. Many top banks are already doing that. At the beginning of the year, ICBC held one live stream per day. Yesterday, do you know how many they organized? They had 16. Live streams created bank celebrities. In the past, it was about who would count the notes faster. And now, all that matters is who attracts the largest audience in a live stream. 16 live streams in a day requires immense tech support behind it. We also see the emergence of autonomous driving and many other new applications. What it means is that we will not only have new industries that require financing, that requires capital, very importantly, there will be new scenarios where we need to inspire innovations, and there will be plenty of opportunities for financial services. There are also important scenarios coming from traditional sectors, coal mines and warehouse, as two examples. The coal mines are transforming to become digital and intelligent. Change is constant. For the financial sector, we need to pay attention to three things. First, agility is going to be a critical capability. We need to have the ability to predict the scenario changes and make changes accordingly at organization, process, and cultural level. Second, the concepts of risk control will change along with its models. This requires us to rethink risk control. Number three, super ecosystem models will drive financial development. No one company or organization can build the full scenario ecosystem. It requires the collaboration of many parties. The topic of the summit and of my presentation is to accelerate financial digitalization, new value together. What do we need to upgrade? First, we need to upgrade to become digital and to be intelligent. Second, we need to upgrade to enable industrial finance. And third, we need the ecosystem upgrade. These are the three critical directions. As a tech company, what is Huawei going to do? Many people probably are very interested in this question. Well, I'm happy to inform you that we will do three things. First, we will continuously innovate in technologies. We're all in cloud native. We will leverage our edge and competitiveness in cloud native technologies to build the best infrastructure for the financial sector. Second, we will build the strong, agile digital platform to enable transformation. Second, with many opportunities in industrial connections and industrial finance, we will immerse ourselves into the industry scenarios and collaborate with our partners in the sector to improve the digital financial services. Number three, we will aggregate many SaaS services to build an open ecosystem together. These are the three strategic directions for Huawei. First of all, I have to start with cloud, because everything we do will be built on cloud. We're now no longer in the cloud 1.0 era when we are on cloud. Now we're in cloud. We're in the cloud era 2.0. What does it mean? It doesn't just have implications on technologies. It requires digitalization, intelligence. It is going to connect many scenarios and ecosystems to provide seamless services. On top of cloud, we have continuous committed investment. Our cloud business has developed very quickly in the past few years. We are ranked number 2 in China, among the top 5 in the world, with a very high growth momentum. Now, many leading technologies are brought to the market by Huawei Cloud. I've listed some of them here. For example, container technologies. It's a very crucial technology domain for cloud native. The use of containers and the requirements on container performance are increasing. In March this year, Huawei Cloud launched the CE Turbo. With this revolutionary container cluster service, we can scale 1,000 containers in half a minute. This is the fastest in the industry. Another thing we offer is the Cloud IDE on Huawei Cloud. We're using programs to write programs, to free the programmers to do more important things. We have the intelligent code completion feature that can enable developers to make their code more robust and secure so that they can focus on their core business. Many financial institutions, to my knowledge, don't have a large group of programmers, probably less than 100 people. So they need to focus their valuable resources on the core business. Another very important technology on cloud is the management of data. Data is where the value lies. We need to unleash the value. We offer the integration of data lake and data warehouses to accelerate the monetization of data. And we have GaussDB as a flagship product which supports purely software and fully ciphertext database storage in terms of low latency and high performance and availability, we've made great strides in the past years. And to enable the sharing of data while maintaining security, we offer TICS, Trustworthy Intelligent Computing Services. Tomorrow, CITIC Bank will share with you a lot more about their experience collaborating with Huawei on this front. When we talk about digital transformation, we cannot skip the topic of a secure and reliable infrastructure. This is an area that Huawei has been dedicating itself to for many years. We focus on the innovations in key technologies. AI is used in many domains to support the upgrade of technologies. We will leverage AI in the full cycle of autonomous driving network solutions and continuously improve our tech capabilities. In this summit, we're going to launch the new generation of NOV Plus, as well as the financial intelligent optics network solution. We want to bring the best and cutting-edge solutions for the financial sector to support their transformation. That's the first thing, our focus on technology. Second, we want to immerse ourselves in scenarios of the industries to go deep in the upgrade of industrial finance. We see many opportunities in this area. Now there is a shift from purely focusing on subject credit to looking at both subject credit and transaction credit. As the industry digitalization gains momentum, with the adoption of many technologies, we're able to continuously and dynamically get access to transactional data. We want to support the trustworthy flow of such data. Through modeling, through networking, we will be able to support the upgrade of traditional industries. This is a very important direction for us. We focus on the collaboration between cloud, edge, and devices. I want to give you two examples. One is our collaboration with SPD Bank on Fin Warehouse. Shadow financing is a very large market, but it's quite difficult to do. Now, there is 70 trillion worth of shadow or movable property, but only 5% of them is being used for financing. So there is a large market to be tapped. We want to leverage all sorts of technologies to change the cold chain warehouses into trustworthy finance warehouses to support trustworthy flow of information, to support cross-validation. Another interesting scenario is coal mining. It's probably quite far from our everyday lives, but for coal mine operators, they can only rely on the financial reports to analyze their performance of business. Last year, Huawei set up the coal mining core, dedicated to supporting the intelligent transformation of the coal mining sector. Now, we're combining the financial know-how and our tech capability to support the financing services in coal mines. In China, there are more than 8,000 mines. They present tremendous opportunities. And there's also agriculture that we're working with our partners on. We look forward to working with more partners to explore the industrial upgrade. The third direction is to aggregate SaaS and strengthen ecosystem. We hope that in the future on Huawei's platforms, we can bring more SaaS services to support the full scenario financial services. Huawei has many ecosystems centering around our technologies, such as Kunpeng, Ascend, Harmony OS. Based on these ecosystems, we want to empower the ecosystems of our partners in three categories. First is the transactional, traditional financial ecosystem. Second, we have many partners serving different scenarios in this category. And the third one is scenario-specific ecosystem. We want to combine our platforms with these ecosystems, bringing more SaaS services to the market. We will also provide the best support to our partners in terms of building technical solutions to enable their learning. We will also provide tools to support our partners. We will also have open business openness. We will open up opportunities around the world to our partners. On the cloud marketplace, we will recommend high-quality partner products. We will also provide marketing support and project operation support to explore more scenarios with our partners. Today, I'm happy to announce you or give you a glimpse of what will be announced in this summit. 15 joint solutions for the financial sector. They cover different scenarios, including the collaboration we have with Temenos. We will launch the first digital banking solution that is the large for cloud-native digital banking. This will be used in Singapore soon. We will also launch, along with CSII, the cloud-native internet new core banking and mobile financing solution that supports smooth upgrade from traditional banking. In the agriculture sector, in risk control, we also will announce many joint solutions. Gradually, we're building a comprehensive portfolio of ecosystem. We will also announce today the program where we will go global with all of our partners, which is called FPGGP, Huawei Financial Partner Going Global Program. We're committed to cloud native and technology innovations. In this era of digital technologies, we want to empower financial institutions to become ecosystem-based organizations that are agile and digital. We want to collaborate with our partners to build fully connected, intelligent, and ecosystem-based finance. Thank you, Mr. Jason Cao, for the presentation. Thank you to Huawei.
Huawei is deeply engaged in the finance industry and has clear visions for industry trends and future strategies. Huawei's i5 architecture for intelligent finance will contribute to an all-scenario finance industry involving the full ecosystem. Now, our next speaker is Jacqueline Xu, Vice President of Cloud BU and President of Global Marketing and Sales Service Department. Her topic will be embracing cloudification for smart finance in all scenarios. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Distinguished guests both offline and online, good morning. Welcome to Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit 2021. I'm Jacqueline Xu. I'm from Huawei Cloud BU. I want to present you Huawei's understanding of the new transformation stage for digital transformation of finance. Finance has been an industry that is the pioneer in digital transformation. The finance industry has been actively innovating itself. We can see around the world there are many advanced practices. For example, SPD Bank from China is innovating scenarios. It has released a serving people to serving things initiative. WeBank, on the other hand, is innovating its architecture. It has built its core banking system on a distributed IT architecture to serve hundreds of millions of customers. China Merchants Bank has introduced AI to build the Libra intelligent risk control platform. It can gauge users' risk level in real time, reducing risk capital loss to less than 1 ppm. Around the world, we see banks are innovating themselves. Development Bank of Singapore has opened up APIs and worked with 50 business partners to develop finance applications for the supply chain. These are all innovative examples from our financial customers. We can see that the whole industry is iterating and evolving, embracing digital scenarios. That's why Huawei Cloud has put forward the idea to partner with financial partners to build all-scenario smart finance. Talking about all-scenario smart finance, 3 keywords are really important. The first is all-scenario. Huawei's understanding of all-scenario is like SPD Bank and other banks. We want to transform from serving people to serving things and embracing applications so that we can do a good job in Finance Plus X, introducing finance services to various sectors. The second keyword is AI. From Huawei's perspective, what is intelligence? What is AI? That is AI plus industry know-how. It is combining industry know-how and AI so that AI can really enter into the main business and operation systems. That's why intelligence is using the combination of AI and applications, combining partners and technologies in providing smart services. The third keyword is ecosystem. We have hoped that all-scenario smart finance will be able to allow Huawei to build with its financial partners an open financial industry so it can become a true ecosystem, building a mutually beneficial era so that the industry can be redefined and empowered with new social value. To achieve all-scenario smart finance, in this Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit, we have made 4 proposals. First, we want that all the partners and customers in the industry can fully embrace cloud to address all the challenges of this cloud transformation. Our digital transformation should be put on the right track. What we call embracing cloud. The key is to using cloudified technologies to digitalize assets of businesses so their core assets can be in an open and quickly iterating platform to be able to innovate and sustainably grow. We see that moving cloud services to cloud will have many challenges. First, different applications will have different requirements for deployment. Huawei Cloud can provide public cloud dedicated financial services, on-premise deployment, and O&M. Combining Huawei Cloud and Huawei Stack, we can satisfy innovative needs, compliance needs, and core regulation needs. This will be able to address the requirements of all-scenario deployment. In this cloud transformation, we have to be able to have online and offline capability synergy. Huawei Cloud has built a mechanism that provides one platform and one mechanism for applications. Another key challenge is how both legacy and new applications can coexist. We can migrate existing applications to have them coexist with new applications on the same cloud. Just like Jason said, we support Cloud Native 2.0. All the applications have cloud native capabilities, but this is the capability brought by the Roma platform. Our aim is to have both applications be connected, share data, and continue to innovate on the same platform. Another key challenge is to meet the trustworthy and compliance requirements. Huawei Cloud provides its financial customers with all the capabilities, full stack trustworthy capabilities, supporting their reliable and sustainable growth. Our first proposal is fully embracing the cloud, addressing the key needs of moving services to the cloud so that all the digital transformation can be based on the cloud. What is our next proposal? To achieve all scenario, we want to first focus on all scenario smart connections. We want to build finance plus X to achieve all sectors. Connections are not only physical. An early guest talked about China's 5G development, and China's super broadband can now have the speed of hundreds of MB. Now, we can enjoy the fast speed brought by physical connections, but the all-scenario smart connections I'm talking about here is using the cloud capabilities Huawei provide to connect people with people, people with things, things with things, people with applications. This is the service connections. It will truly be able to connect all systems and have data moving. When connecting people with things, Huawei's device cloud has 580 billion MAUs. We can use Huawei's e-wallet, music, search, recommendations, a wide diversity of applications helping financial customers to reach their end customers. When it comes to application connections, I just talked to you about Huawei Roma platform. We have powerful application integration capabilities. Now we have achieved for 150,000 applications to be connected on the Huawei cloud. Similarly, when it comes to connecting things, Huawei's IoT cloud platform has already started to help our customers sense the physical world and combine the physical world with the virtual world. When it comes to our IoT solutions, we have connected over 300 million devices, and we have 3,500 partners. On this slide, you can also see that Huawei Cloud also provides WeLink Cloud Meeting, RTC, CDN. These connectivity services help our financial customers to build all fully connected scenarios. So all scenario smart connections are connecting people, things, applications, everything together. This makes Finance Plus S really embracing all the industries. Our third proposal today is to using AI throughout the process. So here we are proposing using AI throughout the process. AI innovations should be embraced with greater interest. We hope that Huawei Cloud can help everyone to embed AI into their main business and production systems. Here, Huawei Cloud provides diverse solutions. One example is the Pangu large model. It uses an AI model that can be used on different scenarios. It uses visual-assisted inspection and monitoring models to greatly reduce our reliance on the volume of data and the structured data, to greatly improve precision. Additionally, on Huawei Cloud, we have also put forward knowledge computing. Starting from cloud computing, many vendors have proposed this knowledge computing concept, but from Huawei's side, we have combined AI and knowledge and presented the knowledge computing concept. Its core is to deeply combine AI with industry know-how. In financial systems and smart risk control, we've introduced knowledge computing, which greatly improves the query and analysis performance. Another solution is AI plus RPA. This is our new innovation this year. AI plus RPA will help us to create digital employees. In Huawei, using AI plus RPA, we have built about 10,000 digital employees, improving our internal IT process. So we hope that starting from this year, these technologies can help finance sector to greatly improve the operational policies in various situations. So in AI, we want to use AI throughout the process. Now let's look at our fourth proposal. We want to build a scenario-centered financial ecosystem and become an enterprise that promotes an ecosystem along with our partners. Around the world, almost all industries, those that are thriving, are all ecosystem-based businesses. So in the next few years, Huawei Cloud will be working with all our customers and partners to take us to the next level. On Huawei Cloud, there's not only Huawei's diverse ecosystem. On Huawei Cloud, we have released 4,500 apps providing services to finance, securities, and insurance, etc. And Huawei Device Cloud ecosystem has aggregated a range of customers. We have 580 million MAUs. These flexible applications can help financial partners to combine both 2B and 2C. In the future, Huawei's vision is to fully combine both 2B and 2C. On Huawei Cloud, be it Huawei Cloud Service or Huawei Device Service, they have been unified in a single platform. Using one account, you can enjoy all the cloud services on the slide, and all the capabilities and open APIs are consistent. So these four proposals have been presented, and we hope that we can help the financial industry to build all-scenario smart finance. Now let me report to you our market progress and latest technology progress around the world. On this slide, you see the latest market progress of Huawei Cloud. In 2020, Huawei Cloud achieved great development. We were the fastest growing main cloud provider. We reached number 2 in China and number 5 in the world. And for this year, in the past year, we already achieved the goal to become the top 5 of the world. This is attributable to all of you. And we are proud to announce that in the Chinese market for infrastructure, Huawei has now become the number 1 as a financial cloud infrastructure provider. This is again thanks to your support. Apart from our achievement in China, in Asia Pacific, Latin America, South Africa, the Middle East, Eurasia, and Europe, we have built our cloud service networks. We support all our customers in China and also provide our overseas customers consistent global services. So these are our latest market numbers. Now I would like to report to you on our technology progress. In the past year, by innovating with our financial partners, we are improving all scenario solutions for finance based on Huawei Cloud and Huawei eStack. We have achieved recognition from customers both home and abroad. On top of our deployment solution, we provide service, application, and AI and security services. China's ICBC, Huawei's cloud stack, has built all-scenario finance cloud platform. Core services are fully migrated to the cloud. With China PICC, Huawei's Cloud Dedication Zone and Huawei Stack has helped them to build a hybrid cloud, introduced 200 services and 600 applications from the ecosystem. We mentioned some challenges earlier. We are addressing them one by one. On this slide, you can see that Huawei's innovation not only involves technology, we are also exploring with our partners the top-level design of the industry. As you can see on the right-hand side, it includes intelligent applications, hub, connection, and interaction. Using the top-level design, it will be able to help us to achieve data, finance digitalization, acceleration, and create new value together. Finally, a small advertisement. Tomorrow, we will release our Huawei Cloud Financial Solution, including full-stack trusted cloud, financial-level distributed database, cloud-native data lake, TIX, and Pangu large model. CTO of Huawei Cloud and AI President will join hands with our customers to give you more details tomorrow. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Huawei Cloud is hoping to grow together with all financial customers and fully embrace the cloud. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. Please be seated. Just now, Jacqueline painted a rosy picture of our all-scenario vision. Embracing full cloud, achieving people and people, application to application, things and things connectivity, introducing AI to the all-scenario smart finance, joining hands with partners to provide offerings, build market competitiveness, and achieve smart upgrade. Distinguished guests, our summit today is a global event. However, due to the COVID pandemic, our overseas guests cannot be present here. But now, they will share with you their thoughts and practices over the video. Now, let's look at the big screen, our next two guests is Tan Chung Boon, Group Head of Cloud Engineering Services from DBS Bank.
Good morning to our audience of Huawei Global Intelligent Finance Summit. I'm Chung Boon from DBS, and thanks all for having me here today to share about DBS digital transformation journey. Before I start, a quick introduction on DBS. We're the largest bank in Southeast Asia. DBS is Global Finance 2020 Best Bank in the world, as well as being recognized twice by Euromoney as the world's best digital bank. We're being recognized as a leader in digital transformation that's reshaping the world of banking and finance. Becoming a technology-driven company has resulted in ambitious innovation, increased agility, and a digital culture. And our early start into the digital transformation has paid off, giving us important competitive advantage in today's world. This is made possible with heavy investment in our private cloud infrastructure and re-architecting our existing application to be cloud-ready. Today, 94% of our applications operate in the new cloud environment, giving us all the benefit of a cloud technology in both cost efficiency and rapid release cadence. I'm going to take the next 5 minutes sharing the condensed version of this journey. When we first started, we're not sure if this is even workable, given that the financial industry is often viewed as slow and incumbent. However, what gave us the courage was many of these big tech companies all started with big monolithic application and not having the ability to scale. They all went through the same transformation phase. And the good thing is, they shared a lot of their learning publicly. Through the learning of this big tech company, we embarked on a strategy focusing on 5 key elements. 1. Shifting from project to product to a platform. Seeing application development not as a one-time project effort, but managing them as a product in a platform that can be continuously enhanced. 2. Adopting Agile, forming small teams that can take an idea to a pilot and mass rollout in small incremental changes. To support this, we need to automate everything, from the way we build and deploy application codes to the way we provision and manage our infrastructure. And for that to work, our technology platform needs to be modernized, moving from proprietary to commodity hardware, leverage of open source software such that we can deploy fast, and if we fail fast and recover fast. The 5th key element is to organize technology as a platform with business and technology team co-owning the outcome. To make sure that this is pervasive throughout the organization, we created a list of initiatives and measurements and track our progress against this. There's a lot more amazing things I can share if we have more time. This is a good condensed version of how DBS has adopted the cloud technology at scale to aid our transformation. I hope you'll find this useful, and thanks for having me here today.
Hi, my name is Italo Lopokoit. I'm the CEO of M-Pesa Africa, as well as the Chief Financial Services Officer at Safaricom. It's great to be at this conference, and today I'll be speaking a little bit about what we do as M-Pesa. M-Pesa was formed in March 2007. Today we are 14 years old, and the purpose was to transform lives across the markets that we operate. And we started this initially in Kenya, and the purpose, as I stated, was to transform lives. When we started in Kenya, it was a simple send money home proposition, and this has evolved today to a fully fledged payment solution, and now we're going deeper into driving financial health. The reason I mentioned financial health is when M-Pesa started in 2007, financial inclusion in Kenya was reported at 23% by the central bank. Today, it is well over 85%, and mainly because of M-Pesa. Over the journey, we've added products and services such as pay billers, pay utility, send money home from the diaspora into the country. We've also opened up many more markets. Today we have 7 markets across the African continent, and we have over 58 million customers who use our product and services on a monthly basis. From a revenue standpoint, we do about $1.2 billion annually, and on a yearly basis, the volume of what goes through our ecosystem is in the excess of $250 billion on a yearly basis. This shows the transformative nature of what technology and partnership and purpose can do. As I stated from our earlier days, it was all about driving financial inclusion and diversifying our product portfolio. Today, M-Pesa is more important as we've seen the impacts of COVID within the African continent across the globe. COVID has been an economic crisis as well as a health crisis across the globe. But we've seen the power of M-Pesa and mobile money in Africa in transforming how we can make an impact in society. With zero-rated transactions below $10 within our ecosystem, we partnered with central banks to reduce merchant fees. We've enabled governments use our platforms to distribute money to the vulnerable in our society. And we've seen a dramatic increase in the use of digital services across our African footprint. Today, over the last 12 months, we've seen a growth of over 60% in transaction volumes and values into the digital channel. This has helped us now look at our network in two ways. M-Pesa today is a two-sided network. We have the business side and we have the customer side. Today we have over 350,000 businesses that use our services and over 5 million micro SMEs that use our services. On the other side, we have 58 million customers who use our various products and services. And at the core of this is our technology. And here is where partners such as Huawei have played an instrumental part in ensuring that the architecture that we have is able to serve both our businesses as well as our customers. We launched the business app for businesses, and this leverages on the Huawei technology at the core of it. And we've leveraged to build a super app for businesses. And this is to enable businesses now access the funds. They're able to receive payments, they're able to make payments, they're able to pay salaries, they're able to do a lot of products and services that before they could not do as a business. This is the first time small businesses are able to actually look at their inflows and outflows in a digital format. And this is how we're beginning to look at businesses and empower them to be able to go beyond what we've seen and the impacts that they've had because of COVID. On the other side, on the two-sided network, is the customers. For customers, it's all about diversifying our products portfolio. Today, we're adding new products and services, leveraging on technology to be able to ensure that we're able to become a lifestyle brand in the future. We're already building the M-Pesa Super App, and we want to have one app across our African footprint that enables our customers access products and services and also make their lives simpler. The mission for M-Pesa Africa is to become the largest fintech and digital ecosystem in Africa. The heartbeat of that will be ensuring that our core platforms are stable, secure, scalable. And with this, I'd like to thank our partners such as Huawei in believing in us and going through this journey of transforming M-Pesa into a true digital fintech ecosystem in Africa. Thank you very much.
Now we've heard the sharing by two speakers from markets outside China. Now let's come back to the Chinese market and hear about the stories of financial digital transformation in China. First, let's welcome to the stage the Chief Information Officer of Postal Savings Bank of China, Mr. Niu Xingzhuang, to share with us the digital transformation of PSBC. Welcome. Distinguished guests, it's a great honor to be part of Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit and share with you the practices of digital transformation in PSBC. First, an introduction of the bank. This is a bank with more than 100 years history. We can trace it back to the Qing Dynasty Post Office in 1989. We are also a large state-owned bank. We have more than 40,000 physical branches, the most in China, and support 6 billion retail customers and 1.8 billion accounts. Our branches are extended throughout China. PSBC has its unique resources. In this digital era, we need to transform. The entire banking industry and many other industries are transforming. We're also transforming ourselves to become digital. How are we doing that? What are the means of transformation? The purpose of digital transformation is to become user-centric. We want to focus on user experience, improve internal efficiency, streamline processes, and increase revenue. To that end, at the end of 2019, we set out the focus on core business because that is the engine that will fuel our business for our users, for our customers. At PSBC, the logic of core system construction falls into two levels. First is business modeling. That's from the business perspective. Second, the underlying technology infrastructure. It's like when you come here at the hotel, the key for this hotel that is standing for years is its foundation. The infrastructure is the same. It is the foundation for all the businesses growing on top. We are responsible for consolidating and figuring out how to have a distributed infrastructure. We need to look at processes, we need to look at products and businesses, not from a purely technical perspective. What is enterprise-grade business modeling? It's about reshaping the products and process. We talk about customer centricity, but very often the services to customers are isolated by departments according to the organization structure. To provide extreme user experience, we must streamline the internal processes. Now, many banks face a very important pain point, which is data governance. It's hard to do because fundamentally, at the beginning, you haven't streamlined your products. We often hear this word of agile IT or dual tree IT. Actually, agile IT can mean many things. Very often people take it as at the superficial level, business agility, putting the IT staff in the same room as business people. But that's the first level. The second level of agility is process agility. The project, chartering, procurement, and management of technology should be agile. The third level is product and architecture agility. I know that many banks probably have scheduled version release either today or yesterday. It usually happens on Wednesday or Thursday night. Many people have to stay up all night for that. Internet companies like Alibaba can tolerate releases of tens of thousands of times a year. Why can they do that? Because they're agile at the business level. We must achieve agility in business processes to support the release of differentiated customer services, and we need to support great release in the architecture. This is how we can achieve the core of digital transformation. All of the models are assets. They can be collected. They carry business values. The bank's products and processes, if you really look into it, can be reused to a large extent. There's not a lot of data redundancy. Our standard, our principle is standardization, sharing, and practical. We cover 76 business domains, 119 business components, and the implementation platform for IT, the distributed technology platform, and distributed O&M platform are all integrated. This is the architecture that we have. The service exists in components to drive business agility. For a bank, you don't have that many innovations. But what we can do is to turn the internal products and processes into clarity to face customers. This is the most difficult thing because it involves interests of different organizations. There's humanity and selfishness. No one wants to change. But now, because of the transformation in technologies and because of the competition and pressure coming from players that are outside this traditional sector, we are forced to change. We're driven to pursue change. In the past, when we develop banking systems, it's vertical. We support hundreds of transactions, but now we're splitting them into single components so that we can use components to achieve business agility. Because for the banks, essentially, the core is development, not R&D. We're not like Huawei. Huawei's focus is R&D, but our focus is development. It's about how to view things from business perspective and customer perspective to provide differentiated, unique services to them. We adopt a distributed architecture at PSBC. We not only employ modeling and the distributed architecture, we're probably one of the few in the industry. On the left-hand side, you can see the extreme complexity of a large system. But from unit-based deployment, standardized units, we are able to support the mapping from business view to deployment view. We can deploy by container, by units, and we have this new generation core applications, which is split but not isolated. It is still coordinated and integrated. Many of the capabilities, such as distribution, the rate limit, unit-based deployment, strong and weak consistency, and service autonomy, these are some of the core capabilities. To achieve distribution, the biggest challenge is probably O&M. If you buy some mid-range servers from IBM, you can install Oracle system and you can manage the O&M of a few hundred of them. But now, with active deployment, we will probably manage thousands of systems, thousands of nodes. Traditional O&M can no longer support it because it's passive, it's reactive. But now, O&M engineers are actively engaged to make O&M more elegant. From 2009 to 2012, I was the head of the data center infrastructure. So I know this deeply. We can make things more elegant for O&M engineers through services and 5-level modeling and dependency analysis. It's like programming. From program-oriented to object-oriented, now we're looking at the 5 levels from BCC to BPP, BPC, PBS, and PCS. We can view the products and services in the form of components. That's the value of modeling. With distributed architecture and database and table sharding, we have the foundation for adopting open source database. These two concepts are often confused. I'm not going into the details of how they're different. But when at the architecture level, Many people think about why is it important that banks adopt distributed architecture. Several reasons. First, in this day and age, considering the current technologies and the current trade circumstances, we need distribution. Second, we need to transform technologies in order to transfer technology internally. Now, how many people can use COBOL to program on mainframes? Not many, I would say. This is the trend of the future, to go with distribution. We've developed our own tools, including O&M tools and the fundamental software platform, to support the deployment of this architecture. We're a state-owned bank. We have a strong sense of mission to pursue innovation and achieve high performance and security and reliability. We've cooperated with Huawei Gauss DB teams. On the 18th of April, this platform has gone live. According to our testing, Open Gauss performance is significantly higher than that of PG. Some people talk about a case of a bank using certain database. If you're not using the database on the core system, it doesn't really matter. You're only running it on a few hundred nodes. We have a transaction volume of hundreds of millions that is growing at 30% annually. You need to use this kind of innovative database technologies and have it validated in such a demanding scenario. This poses high requirements on Huawei, including performance, multi-engine, and O&M. And they have been able to deliver on our demand. When we were thinking about whether to use PG or OpenGauss, one key consideration is that we can rely on Huawei to provide us with support, but on PG, not so much. At the banks, we focus on development, not R&D. Huawei is a leader in this technology domain. That is why we have come to the conclusion of which database system to use. You need to consider the industry ecosystem and the R&D capability and commitment in the future, and the industry foundation supporting that. Therefore, considering distribution, performance, reliability, and availability, we have chosen OpenGauss. We're grateful to Huawei. They've put in lots of efforts in our project. It's an exploratory journey. At every stage, we're optimizing the system and requirements, including cascaded backup, database, the logical replication, and so on and so forth. I won't go into the details, but Huawei has stood up to the challenge. After we launched the system on April 18th, with PPS testing, we have 550 million PPS per second. We can support 2 billion transactions. So the performance is on par, if not better, compared to other options. We have signed the strategic cooperation agreement last week with Huawei in the hopes that we will together promote secure and high-performance technologies, bringing more innovations to the industry. We're now in the era of digital transformation. PSPC looks forward to collaborating further with Huawei to unleash new potential for the financial sector.
Thank you, Mr. Niu. Mr. Niu just shared with us the latest distributed core system building. As the new era where all things are intelligent and connected is coming, how are banks grasping this opportunity? The SBD Bank has proposed the Bank of Things concept. We are honored to have with us Chen Haining, General Manager of IT Department of SPD Bank. He will bring us the topic promoting digital industrial finance innovation using technology and cloud. Distinguished guests, colleagues from Huawei, from the finance industry and various industries, good morning. I'm very honored to attend this summit. Let me introduce myself first. I'm from SPD Bank. I've worked in the business for 25 years, and I just turned to technology last May, so my perspective may be different from other colleagues. I'm here today on behalf of the biggest financial organization in China. I would like to say thank you to Huawei for inviting us. I feel a lot of pressure actually in this leading technology firm held summit for finance. Jason and Jacqueline just presented many in-depth financial concepts. I agree with my colleague from DBS. He said that banks in the future will not only be banks, they have to be data, technology-driven tech firm. Banks will not be banks in the future. All the industries and sectors in nature will be companies, tech companies driven by data and technology. Based on this understanding, we embraced and accelerated digital transformation starting from 2018. I want to share with some numbers. By the end of last year, we had 60,000 employees. 10% of them worked in technology. In the future, the share will account for 20% of all our staff. Starting from 2018, we proposed first in China, open bank based on APIs. So we are focused on technology and digital transformation in collaboration with the whole industry, with our industry partners from both home and abroad, Huawei, IBM, Microsoft, Tencent, and Baidu. We have built 13 joint innovation labs. We've partnered with prestigious universities in China and built research-oriented joint innovation centers. So SPD Bank is committed to becoming a R&D and technology-driven bank for the future. Last September, on Huawei's Global Developer Conference, we unveiled the white paper for the Bank of Things. So today I have a small piece of advertisement here. We are now rolling out our service in phases, but it's not ready for the official release. We're going to take it step by step. On this opportunity, I want to tell you that digital transformation was not only about transforming its services, it's about dissecting, opening up itself, and then to recompose. I agree with the ideas brought forward by my Huawei colleagues. The Bank of Things, what is it? Our understanding is this, as our previous speakers have already mentioned. In the future, the world where all things connected is on the horizon. Billions of IoT devices will be connected. By the end of the century, will we have more than 100 billion people? Will we have more than 10 billion people? So in the future, in your refrigerators, your TVs, smart home, take smart home as an example. Can your refrigerator, authorized by its owner, has its accounts helping you to place orders and buy groceries? How do we define the refrigerator's behaviors? Another example is Huawei's smart car. The fueling, repair of cars, can they be managed automatically? And how do we define the financial behaviors in these processes? This is what the Bank of Things seeks to address. It's not only about serving the people, it's about serving things. We believe the Bank of Things should have three features. First, building a new type of financial infrastructure. All industries will be your ecosystem and scenarios in the future. Second, if we say that smart thing is our object, is our service object, in the future, people will communicate with things, computers will communicate with things, and things will communicate between each other. So these are all new connectivities. And after smart things are generated, real-time communications should be supported. So a large body of data will have a significant impact on the societies of credit. Jason just said 7 billion installed base and 5 trillion investment. It's difficult to manage legacy base. I believe everyone must be quite sure about this. So sometimes we are rejecting it. But apart from your real estate and land, which bank is able to provide loans to SMEs based on their credit? As the chattel financing has to address the challenge for SMEs. We use our technology to address the warehousing challenges. I have an example here. There was a recent film. There was a warehouse built in the People's Republic, Republican China era. So we are talking about building a financial warehouse in the digital era. We call it Fin Warehouse. We want to be able to cut the transaction costs for the entire industry. We have achieved trustworthiness, reliability, and convenience using this warehouse technology. There are some technical details and equipment here. We have worked with Huawei, and this is our joint innovation project. The Fin Warehouse is provided to some chattels that were difficult to be defined. We provide them with enablement. We address the asymmetric information and high transaction costs. Now, we are embracing the digital industry finance. What we seek to address is the last mile issue. Based on information of transactions, it is actually quite easy to address the transaction challenges. But when it comes to real transactions, warehousing, and production, we want to use IoT and digital twin to reshape the credit system. That's why, after dissecting finance, we are getting rid of approvals. After goods entered in warehouse, they will be appraised automatically. To get finance, businesses will automatically get resources based on the appraised value. And imagine it, if we give these things financial properties, they carry credit themselves. Businesses will no longer need to get financing. So the barter system in the old society is now moving towards the future where things carry value themselves. But this cannot be addressed by only one or even 100 banks. It has to rely on technical partners and infrastructure providers. On the other hand, partners in the industry have to be interested in trying and using this new solution. So we're working with Huawei to provide inclusive finance infrastructure. It is not to address the financing issues for individual banks. So I hope friends from all sectors can work hand in hand to build this new solution. To put this into implementation, it relies on a technical foundation. So let's go back to our topic today. Huawei is dedicated to technology, and those of us from the finance industry, we also want to be able to command more technologies. SPD Bank has built its private cloud. We have 5,000 servers, and we're making our services available. You can come to me if you want to enjoy these services. I agree with what Jacqueline said. All the service forms and ecosystem in the future will be based on the cloud-native foundation. Cloud-native is not a simple technical issue. It involves the evolution of commercial logics. That's why, based on our cloud-native platform and our collaboration with public cloud partners, we've built up ecosystem including IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. We want to respond to Huawei's call to build the finance-level SaaS service. It has to come from the efforts from all of us. This is about cloud edge device synergy and ubiquitous intelligence. I think this has been touched on, so I will not go into detail. Finally, it's about the ecosystem, be it the fin warehouse or the digital finance ecosystem. SPD Bank wants to be able to use technologies to build an open, equal, and collaborative community based on technical logics using open source and the community-based concepts. We want to join hands to address the challenges in economic, technology, and industry upgrades, and contributing our share to the Digital China initiative. In an era where all things are smart and connected, finance, science, and industries are closely connected. SPD Bank is ready to work with you to take us to the next level.
Thank you to Mr. Chen Haining for the sharing. SPDB's Fin Warehouse has been dedicated to inspiring shadow financing and innovations in the digital industrial finance. Now we've heard a lot of insights shared by practitioners from overseas and from China. They have shared with us their experience, lessons, and learnings in their digital transformation journey. The key topic of the HIFS is smart finance or intelligent finance. What is the right path towards intelligent finance? We're going to give the floor to a prominent financial commentator, Ms. Ye Tan, to host a panel session to discuss this topic. Welcome. Distinguished guests, good morning. We've heard a lot of exciting presentations and sharings. It is truly a revelation that is underway. It started from the industries and started to influence finance. We've seen some changes in financial sector. Now, as we see it, it is expanding in the traditional large banks. They are tackling the most difficult challenges, getting to the frontiers of innovation. It matters to all of us. I'd like to give you some examples. When I left home, I saw that the branch office of a bank closed, not for a day, but permanently. The organization of banks is changing. They have fewer and fewer offline staff. They have a larger and larger tech team. I asked Mr. Ho from CMB about how many people they have on the tech team. PSBC and SPDB both have a very large team. And Mr. Ho from CMB told me that they have 8,000 people in the tech team. We know that Warren Buffett is known for its expertise in the stock market, but his team is quite small, only 25 people. But at banks, engineers alone amount to the scale of thousands. You can imagine the change that they can bring. Take CMB for another example. Jason talked about how many live streamings banks are organizing, but I think this is a topic that's very interesting and probably relevant to CMB. On the CMB app, in one day, one bank, how many live streams do they have? I checked their preview released yesterday about today. They have 15 scheduled for today. If you didn't know that this is a large leading bank in China, you would think that they are an entertainment company because they have everything in their live streaming. We also see that for all of us, we're probably investors, individual investors. You need to learn how to invest and probably will fail. How to invest in the equity market, in the property market. You'll probably encounter some difficulties as you learn. And for the banks, for wealth management business, they can consider your age, your family background, and map your profile to an investment portfolio. Can we do that one day? Because if we can do that, we will no longer see those lectures or training courses teaching people how to invest. It might become a reality one day. For those of you who are teaching people how to invest in the stock market, you probably need to learn new things. Otherwise, this might be another profession like drivers that will be replaced. These are signs of revolution that is underway. Many people are working at the frontier of that, and they know this much better than I do. And they definitely have a lot to share with all of us. Now let's welcome to the stage our panelists. Let's welcome HDFS Chairman and former President of WeBank, Cao Tong. Hou Weirong, the GM of Transaction Banking Department of China Merchant Bank. Chen Kunde, the Chief Digital Transformation Officer of Huawei Global Financial Services Business Unit, to the stage. I'd like to start by asking the first question. It might be a bit high level, but I hope that the colleagues can share with us with your own personal experience in responding to this question. We know that in the traditional banking sector, they're exploring opportunities. In your practice, what do you think are the things that have already gained significant momentum and presented tremendous opportunity? Let's start with you, Mr. Cao. Well, intelligent finance and digital finance are probably two terms describing similar things. What it's about is providing financial services to SMEs or micro companies. Jason Cao talked about the shift from evaluation by subject credit to evaluation by subject and transaction credit. For large banks, for large companies, subject credit is enough. But for small, medium, and micro companies, it's more important to include transaction credit. And you need to do that with digital means. Therefore, it kind of overlaps with the concept of financial inclusion. This is the topic that we're discussing today. For those entities with less subject credit information, to be able to evaluate their credit, you need to rely on non-financial data, which resides heavily in their production systems, in their interactions with the state and other third-party entities. By including all of that data in the models, you will be able to build a profile. And that is how the digital economy becomes a reality. It's the premise. Many years ago, we tried to serve SMEs and micro companies, but it wasn't successful at the time because we didn't have the infrastructure. It wasn't ready. But now we have the infrastructure. Then how do we define the models? How do we define the variables and find alternative variables to form a closed loop? This is the realistic questions we need to encounter. In some industries, you have all that ready, but in some partially. For example, in the 2C market, in e-commerce, it's ready comprehensively. But for the B2B market, some of the industrial internet sectors have relatively complete picture. They will be able to form a relatively complete model. Therefore, we see applications in these sectors. Thank you. I'd like to ask a follow-up question. Mr. Cao, you come from backgrounds in both traditional banking and internet banking. In the past, we would think that for an internet bank, we have a large platform. We can replace traditional banks. It saves us all the trouble, right? So would it be possible that the traditional banks will be marginalized and replaced? Well, the banking sector will not disappear. It's just who are the players. There are 4,300 banking licenses in China. Some will be leaders, some will fall back. Those competitive ones want to rush to the front. And as they innovate in their practice, they are providing new thoughts, new ideas for the entire industry. And their competitors, other players in the sector, will learn from that, and that stimulates competition. So it's not a matter of who's replacing whom. It's just new vitality being inspired thanks to new ideas. That is truly inspiring, and it kind of coincides with our viewpoints. There's no one that can replace others. I'd like to then pivot to Mr. Ho from CMB. In your practices of application, what level have you achieved already? Well, Mr. Cao Tong has talked about the transformation of financing business of banks. Now banks, including CMB, are transforming to become digital in all of our businesses. As far as we can see now, there are three characteristics. First, we're adapting to consumer internet. We're moving fast. The retail banking transformation is moving faster than corporate banking. Second, those businesses that are more easily standardized are moving faster than the more complicated businesses. For instance, the financing business that Mr. Cao talked about is quite complicated, and the wealth management services for our customers is also one with complexity, because we need a lot of face-to-face interactions with customers. This is also to respond to your previous question, Dr. Ye. Will traditional banks be replaced by internet banks? Not necessarily, I believe. As Mr. Cao said, large companies have complicated requirements for banks. CMB has 1,800 branches. We have more than 8,000 account managers. There are lots of local services that we provide to customers. In the future, we want to leverage digital technologies to improve those services, improve their efficiency. Third, the applications of banks have been more widely used in the more defense type domains. For example, payment, credit card, fraud prevention using data and system models. In these areas, we've done quite well. And in credit management, the post-loan management, for example, at CMB, we're using big data modeling. In the past 2 years, with corporate loans, we will be able to provide 24-hour pre-warning when we see NPL risk. So we have risk control measures with these capabilities.
However, going forward, we need to be more proactive and more aggressive. This includes financing. Our current data models, especially targeting SMEs for small and micro businesses, we have used retail loans to meet their needs. They are based on fully online loans and financing. But when it comes to SMEs, our current models can have support selection and post-loan services for customers, but we are not able to cover confirming or verifying the credit lines or pricing for our loans. This is not yet achieved, but we are going to improve on that. We just talked about the difference between standardized products and products that are supported by some existing data, these are relatively easy. But for SME loans and customer wealth management, there are personalized needs, so they are trickier. So to Mr. Chen, you are now working in a technical company, but you have financial background. So do you think this is a major challenge or opportunity? How do you address it? Now, let me continue with what Wei Rong just said. Let me just give a brief recap. I worked in CMB for over a decade, and then later I joined Huawei, and I have some impressive memories. Talking about digital transformation of banks, I think there are 4 things. The first idea is turning from passive to proactive. Being passive means that when we are talking about accelerate financialization, creating new value together, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, everyone think that banks were declining. It was not that banks replaced cash. We all know who replaced who replaced cash in China. Banks provide a variety of services: credit cards, debit cards, swiping cards, consumptions, reissuing cards, closing accounts. There is a whole set of services. When the internet age came, they were replaced passively, and they disappeared on our phones, in our apps. Now all the services can be provided, and these things keep evolving. I think the largest change came around November last year. It had wide-reaching impact on the stock market as well as the financial system. So now we are seeing more proactive opportunities, and they are prepared for, they are given to the banks that are ready. Digital transformation is not a matter of willingness. It's about the transformation of your customer behaviors. Your customers have changed their behaviors. I've had many exchanges with overseas customers of Huawei, and they all ask me, how are banks supposed to survive now? And I'm the only one that has the experience to be able to confront this technology challenge and be able to survive. So turning from passive to proactive, you have to know about the customer behavior in the future and the trend of the digital economy, just like Mr. Ye said. Ms. Ye said, why is live broadcasting so popular now? Because all the e-retailers are doing it. And a company that went public early this year relied on e-retailing. On our phones, we have social influencers in every company. From the perspective of banks, how to serve these customers, how to embed financial services into the social economy, to the digital economy. This is what we need to keep thinking about. You just need to observe customers' changes. So you find that many financial institutions are passive. When the cash is disappearing, when the bank cards are no longer needed, they are not ready. I think this is a turning point. This is an opportunity. In the background, there are a variety of problems, challenges about transforming organizations, operations, and mindsets. Technology is pushing us into a new era. How to use technologies well is a challenge that everyone is confronted with. I've been with Huawei for a year. I know that not every bank can be as successful as SPD and Postal Bank. They're not that deep-pocketed. So how to do? This is quite a challenging topic. Maybe I cannot give all my ideas today, but we all have to know how to reduce cost and how to simplify ways to use new technologies and embrace new scenarios. You also need to change your talent strategy. It is not only true to banks operations, but you have to change your entire mindset. You have to gain insights into the trends of the new digital economy and digital society. Then you develop measures accordingly and establish a differentiated financial institution. Otherwise, you will fail. Very exciting remarks from Mr. Chen. One thing is impressive for me. He was talking about what is happening in the society. Sometimes we fail to capture what is happening. Huawei is not a financial company, but it is fully invested in the financial scenario. Once it makes it work, then it means the finance sector will be able to work hand in hand with the entire economy. I'm thinking, why is the CMB building or creating all these scenarios? Because otherwise it would be too late. Maybe when we are providing digital inclusive finance, we'll be lagging behind. It's normal that we have lagged behind the internet companies in the first wave of the transformation. But in the second wave, if we're so lagging behind the financial firms, then we will not be able to catch up with the end of this whole transformation. But when we are working on it, we may be faced of a range of problems and challenges. For example, data is important. What data can be used and what cannot be used? Mr. Chen said some data is too expensive. Say, if I need to invest billions a year, that's too big a sum for smaller organizations. It also involves restructuring the whole organization and incentive policies. Now, how do we address these things? Mr. Ho, can you shed some light on the practices of CMB? How do you address these? Yes. When we are digitalizing financial services, there are great challenges for banks. The main one is we need to upgrade the foundational infrastructure. Traditionally, we are on the siloed organizations. Taking our bank as an example, in the past, our products were siloed. Every product were an independent system. Data was not connected. One transaction involved many systems. Maybe credit had to do with the counter service or the financing, loan management. Then there was no way for us to make it connected. The systems were siloed. So there were all kinds of breakpoints. And we needed to put in some manual work. At CMB, we are resolved to work with Huawei, a strategic partner, to do mainframe offloading, so to completely overhaul the foundation. In the future, all the basic products and capabilities can be microservices. They can become APIs. So in different channels in our bank, internet banking, mobile banking will be quickly deployed. Second, to build a financial service ecosystem, we have to work more with external partners and build an alliance. Then our products should be easily embedded into our partner systems. In this way, we will first achieve system connections. Then on top of that, we can be able to connect our data and have our data create more value. So Mr. Ho just talked about connections. It is easy to say, but quite difficult to make it work. Maybe with one customer, you found that it's not only retail needs, but other requirements, and it also has a large asset. To connect siloed systems in one bank is a great challenge. Then how do we do? Well, for a bank, it needs to happen in steps. You just gave a retail example. I'm in corporate banking. Let me give you this example. A core company like Huawei, it receives an invoice from a vendor. It needs to pay, say, 1 million. Then in this 1 million, maybe 20% is cash. 20% is using notes, and there's the rest on installments. So in our traditional operations, these are all different, separate processes. So 3 processes have to be initiated separately for all these 3 parts. And there may be factoring involved. So these separate processes first have to be moved online. When conditions are met, we first address some challenges for the customers and improve our efficiency. Going forward, on the top of optimized infrastructure, we need to reshape all our processes to make them integrated. Then at that stage, it will bring the best experience efficiency for our customers and bring us the lowest operating cost. Well, we've seen that, let's imagine in another 5 or 10 years, maybe banks will no longer be what they look like now. The whole software ecosystem, the organization will all be changed.
We probably cannot imagine how it would be now, but I'd like to address the next question to Mr. Cao. You have experience from both internet banking and now you are building connections with financial institutions. How do you think it will be like in 5 years? And what are you connecting? HDFH is essentially a provider of platform, building the data platform, designing products for credit investigation. On the left, on one end, we connect to small, medium, and micro companies. On the other end, we connect to around 100 banks. So I know both sides to an extent. The next step from internet banking is open banking, and the next step after that is an open society where banking licenses no longer matter, but what matters will be services, because now scenarios are open to banks, but banks are not open to other scenarios. Once it's open on both ends, then you can invoke function A from SPD, function B from PSBC, and function C from another bank. All of the functions will be open for anyone to invoke. In that era, the banks itself will not be the central point, but the functions they provide. Then will things be modularized in 5 years? Having modules that will solve things and satisfy requirements. Yes, the digitalization of scenarios is happening faster than the digitalization of the banking services, financial services. For large banks, they're more ahead, but medium to smaller banks, they're still keeping up. I believe all the banks will embrace these changes to become digital, to have functional modules, and these financial functions will be closer to the scenarios. When you look at the scenarios, when you're in the scenarios, you will have the functions easily accessible. Maybe in 5-10 years, the financial landscape will be completely different. At that time, all of the scenarios will be empowered by high tech. When you order food delivery, it's probably delivered by unmanned drones and at the back end managed by AI system. So I'd like to ask Mr. Chen, standing in the shoes of Huawei now, how do you imagine the future? What financial services will be provided? Well, if I imagine the future of banks, I think the most important function for banks is the most efficient configuration of fund and capital. It's about managing the supply and demand of funds. In the digital economy, this will be transformed constantly. A good financial institution must have the insights to know in this process how to make things simple, efficient, and easy to manage. This is how you will succeed in competition. In the US, loan business is quite developed. More than half of loans are not transacted in banks. Second, I'd like to thank you for giving me this question. Very rarely do I get this sort of question. I'm kind of an idealist. I told Jason that I think Huawei is a nationalistic company. How do you make financial services simple? You need to leverage cloud, 5G, network connectivity. Because as we evolve from smartphones to 5G to electric vehicle, autonomous driving, smart city, smart manufacturing, as all these scenarios are evolving, you need the most effective infrastructure that is affordable for everyone, that is equipped with the most advanced technology. With cloud computing, we can do pay-as-you-go, pay-as-you-use. This is how you can bring leading technologies to small financial institutions, to startups, to bring them into the picture, to boost the development of digital economy. This is a critical infrastructure. It's not just 5G. Someone has to have the ambition, the dream, and the vision to deliver on that. That's my personal view. I think it's crucial Because when you look at the future digital world, you must have a robust infrastructure, which includes connectivity. When all things are connected, sometimes speed matters, sometimes reliability, security matters. To avoid interruption, ambitious companies must come out and rise up to the challenge. Thank you. I've heard practical experience and passion. I think change is created when you combine both. Many banks fear that data is not authentic, and they also fear that system will go down, are not efficient. They're also worried about hacking events. But I believe all the problems have a solution. So it's a true pleasure to attend this kind of event. I'm moderating the panel, but I'm also learning from all of the panelists, and I'm quite confident that the dreams will come true. It's a difficult time. There's a crisis of the pandemic and the crisis of credit. The pandemic is controllable, but as we look at the internet and biology landscapes, we see passion from humankind. I'd like to say thanks to all the panelists. Thank you to all the panelists and our moderator, Ye Tan. Truly insightful sharing from all of the experts and practitioners from the industry. Digital transformation is not possible without partners. And Huawei's ambition is to create a new value with our partners. We have a video to share with you.
与华为近10年的战略合作中，始终保持与华为的战略协同。金融行业是北明与华为合作的重要领域之一。合作的领域包括数据中心网络、计算存储资源等传统基础架构，新一代 IaaS、PaaS 云平台、IT 基础设施。
我们从2016年走出国门，在东南亚与华为相遇，携手拓展客户，已经在印度尼西亚、泰国、坦桑尼亚等项目落地。我们和华为一起继续深耕亚太市场，并将合作延伸到中东和非洲大陆。
感谢华为把我们带到这片生机美丽的非洲大陆，我们一起在此深耕，为非洲人民提供数字金融的解决方案。疫情期间，我们一起坚守肯尼亚，并在去年11月，我们在非洲的第一个数字银行核心系统正式上线，业务持续爆发式增长。
未来，克莱将进一步深化与华为战略合作，共同建设安全、便捷、可信数字化金融服务生态，有力保障金融机构数字化转型行稳致远。
在金融行业 IT 架构从集中式向分布式转变的背景下，中电电信与华为结合双方优势，联合打造基于华为底座的分布式核心业务系统、数据中台、智慧网点、智能客服等多个解决方案，一起为金融数字化转型做出更大贡献。
我们和华为一起为国外的金融机构提供经得起双11级别考验的智能运维方案，不管是云上还是云下，都能做到端到端全覆盖，业务足迹已经遍及亚太、中东、非洲、拉美和欧洲。
数字支付作为中国的新4大发明，我们和华为一起上架了数字支付解决方案，赋能众多境外的银行和金融机构。从跨境支付到电子钱包，我们的业务跟华为一起从中东到欧洲，从东南亚到南美。
我们与华为合作开发的 Mobile Life 智慧支付场景，为全球的企业客户和 C 端用户提供智慧零售、扫码点餐、扫码停车、便捷缴费等生活服务。金融科技服务智慧生活， 我们扬帆远行，剑指云端。
我们和华为构建了视频云管理联合解决方案，该方案落地了华为海外第一单视频上公有云案例，海外上云未来可期，与华为一起驰骋星云。
We attach great importance to our cooperation with Huawei. Together, Temenos and Huawei already have customers leveraging our joint capabilities, but now, with the certification of our solutions on the Huawei cloud, we expect that we will have significant acceleration in both our businesses. We will now have access to a new and very significant opportunity in China, but also extending to the Middle East, Africa, Europe, and Latin America.
In this video, many partners that have collaborated with Huawei are sharing the results of that collaboration and also instills hope for the future. Now let's come back to the stage and welcome to it the Executive Vice President of Huawei EBG and President of Huawei EBG Global Partner Development and Sales Department, Ma Yue, to deliver the presentation on set sail on a new voyage together, Huawei Financial Partner Going Global program. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning. Jason Cao put me last today. Often, we are forced to deal with the delay as the last presenter. I will try to catch up to give you more time for lunch for 2 or 3. It's a great pleasure to attend the Huawei Intelligent Finance Summit 2021. It's been 2 years since we came to this stage last. It's a great pleasure to see all of the partners still with us here to witness the last topic of the keynote. At this summit, we've truly felt that consumer finance is now evolving towards industrial finance. The IT investment of the financial sector is ahead than many other sectors. More emphasis is placed in this direction, and we've also seen new opportunities and scenarios emerging. In the past few years, the financial sector has made strong progress in China. In terms of mobile financing, China is without a doubt a leader in the global market. We're happy to see that similar changes are happening outside of China. Financial customers outside China value the practices and experience we've gained in the Chinese market in digitalization. And I have to say that all of you represent this knowledge pool. We now serve customers across over 60 countries and regions in the world. We have the ability, we want to collaborate with the partners who have the willingness and capability to go global, to form scenario-based solutions to serve global FSI customers.
Let us pull our efforts together and set sail. Since the enterprise business was founded at Huawei, Huawei has determined its being integrated strategy. Huawei is staying committed to this strategy to meet more and more needs from the customers and higher expectations from them. Our ecosystem, partner ecosystem, will be changed. So it will be transformed to 2.0. It revolves around transforming from generic traditional customers to capable partners. We will redefine this partner ecosystem. For the finance industry, we will focus on 3 types of customers. First, traditional consumption partners. They need to possess not only the ability to selling product for portfolios, and they also need to sell software and cloud services. For solution partners, we want to transform to digital, intelligence, and all scenario smart service capabilities. The third type is operation partners. We used to focus on delivery and maintenance. Now we will evolve towards design, deployment, and maintenance, the end-to-end capabilities. So during this transformation, we will implement some measures. First, we are redesigning and optimizing future-oriented capability partners evaluation and appraisal system going forward in enterprise business. What kinds of partners do we need? What key capabilities do they need to have? And how are these capabilities evaluated and then applied? How can we make sure that competent partners who make more contribution can get more opportunities, incentives, and support? By setting up processes and empowering our partners, we ensure that they can get returns. And finally, all levels of Huawei will set up dedicated teams to improve partners' capabilities. For example, we will make available generic platforms and tools and giving our partners our digital transformation capabilities and build customer-centric cultures and mechanism. We've proposed that we need to guarantee ecosystem with rules and defend the rules with mechanism and defend fairness with regulation and build a fair, transparent, and sound ecosystem. Why do we propose the Financial Partner Going Global program then? In the digital economy, we look forward to work with partners who are capable and who are interested in working with us. Together, we will leverage our shared experience and technological innovation capabilities in digital financial transformation to help industry-leading solutions. The program first partners include 25 firms, including Huawei, and 7 on the board of directors. We want to grow the pie bigger and achieve mutual commercial success. The participating organizations will enjoy 6 benefits. First, opportunity sharing. It's not just sharing between Huawei and partners, but also sharing between partners. Second, capability improvement. Between Huawei and partners being partners, they'll be able to have technical interconnection. We'll also provide partner training program, help our partners to develop talent and build joint solutions. They can also get funding from Huawei. Third, marketing. Huawei has built joint solutions with Huawei. They will be incorporated into Huawei sales system. And Huawei sales teams and partners will be enabled the sales will be incentivized. We will also help partners to get more opportunities by exchanges with customer. Fourth is brand growth. Partners in the program will enjoy opportunities to the summits, exhibition halls, and all joint marketing activities. Huawei will give them marketing funding. The fifth is investment and financing support. Globally, Huawei has developed more than 100 financing partners and investing partners. They'll be able to provide partners in this program with strategic investment or funding. Sixth, operational guide. Huawei sales service platform around the world has a direct understanding of the regulation and policy environment of the financial sector. We've also accumulated extensive experience in subsidiary law and taxes. We can share all these resources with partners in this program. To gain deeper understanding to the finance industry and serve our customers better, we will invite Huawei's partners and my colleagues to the stage to launch together Huawei's Financial Partner Going Global program. Yes, Mr. Ma, at this memorable moment, let's launch this together. Let's launch the Financial Partner Going Global program together. First, Sinosoft. Huawei Technology, from Huawei Technology, Jason Cao. Tongdun Technology. Sunline Technology from Huawei, from Shenzhen. Wallet. Chinasoft. Banco from Beijing. Netis from Shanghai. Jacqueline Shi from Huawei Technology. Beiming Software. Fuyou Pay from Shanghai. Shen Surong from Huawei. Weaver Tech Network, Shanghai. Closely from Hangzhou. Fanran Technology. Huifu Technology from Shanghai. Hysun Global. Gago Group, Beijing. Hidesoft. Murong from Beijing. Song Danting from Huawei. Shuabao Technology from Shenzhen. CSII from Beijing. Usys Technology from Beijing. EIG Pay from Beijing. Joyware from Hangzhou. Situ Data from Beijing. IPAX from Beijing. Okay. All the executives on stage, please count down together with the audience. After the countdown, please raise your thumb. Okay, let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going global together. Okay, let our photographer keep this memorable moment. Please stay on the stage a bit. Let's do another group photo. you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your tremendous support. Please be seated. I hope that all the partners in the Going Global program will enjoy more success in the future. Let us pull our efforts together and set sail. Dear friends, thank you for your support to our event today. We look forward to having you on our side in every big moment going forward. That's the end for the keynote session. We have more exciting sessions in the afternoon and more other exciting events coming up. See you.